whom I think some of you know, and who is the source of Craig's coming today. I found you through Sabrina. It was an easy find that way, thank you. And Becky Brown, who is a co-op in our department and making major contributions. And today she's going to capture you on film, which I didn't ask. It is. Is that acceptable? Okay. We get, actually, interestingly, I got a couple of emails from people who attend Northeastern remotely, who wanted to know how they were going to have access to this amazing program. And so I said, we're going to film it. We have to figure out how to get it to them so that it's not a DVD that takes an hour, because I think that we need to work on that. But it's great for people to have access. So we have it past this room by that means. So I think you should take it away. And Sean has agreed to be the starter. And I have asked each person to introduce themselves today, because if I do this sort of routine bio, I feel as though it kind of gives you not the flavor of the person, but that the person himself will give. So that's how I made that decision. So thank you, Sean. Let's start.
Great. Thank you, Pat, and appreciate you organizing it for everyone as well. So my name is Sean Roy. I actually graduated from Bentley, at the time Bentley College in 2003, which has since become a university. At the time when I graduated in 2003, the economy was really difficult. I had a management major with an information technology minor. And it was difficult to obtain a job right out of school. Luckily, about 2 months prior to graduation, I did get lucky enough to find a telecommunications company looking for client relations management position. So it actually fit nicely with my management background, as being able to work, essentially account management, working with large accounts, just basically keeping your customers happy. It's, at the time, unfortunately, the first job out of school was sort of glorified customer service. But certainly it was the inroads that I needed to start at that particular company by the name of, it was Boston Communications Group, which, long story, doesn't exist anymore. It was since sued for patent infringement several years later and is now defunct. But I played no part in that. So actually after a couple of years of being there and doing account management, working with clients, having a couple of promotions, but within the account management team, I decided that I really needed to develop more of a technical skill that was transferable to other organizations. After a couple of years, I realized that I could fall back on talking with clients and keeping them happy, but I wondered where in my career that could really take me. So I wanted to develop a technical skill to complement the account management. So I actually looked at Northeastern's programs that they had here for the masters, one of which was the Masters of Science in Leadership, which I believe is actually an undergrad program in leadership that Northeastern offers as well. So I decided to pursue that, but with a concentration in project management, so I could develop the more technical aspects, specifically project management. So I started the master's program in 2007, and it took me, I did the part-time night classes, some weekends. And the great thing about Northeastern is they offer you the flexibility of, strictly on campus, the hybrid approach, or the online. So I sort of sampled all of that based on my schedule. And then in 2009, I finished my master's degree. And right about that time, I actually, as my company was going downhill, I started looking elsewhere and found a position still in software, but in the health services side. So I went to work for a company called Face Forward. We develop software for pharmaceutical companies and biotechs that are running clinical trials for Johnson & Johnson and Abbott Labs and all the big pharmaceutical companies out there. And so what I did is I leveraged my degree in my ongoing degree at the time at Northeastern to get a project management position, which is really where I wanted to head. It was more money. I felt as though project management was better, a career path for me. And so I've been there for 3 years now. We were just acquired last summer by Oracle, which that's why I was introduced working for Oracle, which is relatively new to me. I've been there about 6 months now as part of Oracle. Certainly there's some differences from my old company to Oracle. Just much more bureaucracy, and it's much larger. It's a 106,000 employee company versus about 900 from where we were previously. So it's obviously a significant change, but certainly Northeastern helped me get to where I am now, and So I appreciate these opportunities to give back to you guys and give back to the community by coming to these events as well.
Should we hold questions until the end? I think maybe that's a better way to do it.
Sure.
So thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, I am Craig Jano. I graduated from Northeastern in 1993, so quite some time ago. As I was saying to Kath earlier, that makes me the old one of the group up here, I think, and our summer interns like to tell me that frequently as well. Anyway, I started actually at Northeastern, obviously sometime in the late 80s, as a art major, and wasn't a great artist, so changed to a math major. Not necessarily an intuitive switch, but I liked math. It was fun, I guess. And didn't really know what I was going to do with that degree, but figured there'd be some sort of business application that I could find at some point. Shortly after starting the math program, someone suggested being an actuary. Didn't really know what being an actuary meant, but it sounded interesting enough from what I heard, did some research, learned that it's at a very high level, it's about applying probabilities and statistics to insurance, trying to determine insurance premium rates for whether it be auto insurance, or trying to determine based on someone's demographics what their probability of incurring an insurance claim might be, so then you can assess what the premium should be based on that. So that sounded great. Learned that there were a whole series of exams that you had to take to become an official certified actuary. It takes people generally 5 to 8 years to pass up all of those exams. I took the first couple while I was still in school here at Northeastern. Northeastern supported some prep courses for the actuarial program. I think it may have expanded a little bit since then. But it was a great starting point, and having passed those exams allowed me to find jobs a little bit more easily. So graduated in '93, took my first job at what was one of the then big 6 accounting firms, was the C and the PwC, in their human resources consulting group, doing defined benefit, retirement benefit consulting for employee benefit programs. So I was only there for about 6 months, didn't last long. Because I was an actuary, because I was taking all these exams, which require 20 to 30 hours a week of study time on top of a full-time job, and consulting is never just a full-time job, it's that plus. I decided I'd move to an insurance company, which tends to offer a little bit more support in terms of exam study time. So I was at an insurance company for about 5 years, passed a bunch of exams, got some goodish experience, and had rotated through a couple of different types of roles. My last role was in health insurance, premium development. Really liked that a lot. The company I was at didn't have a big health insurance presence, so knew that if I wanted to develop that part of my career, I would need to move on. Since I had passed a bunch of exams, figured time to get back into consulting. There were a lot of job opportunities out there at the time in consulting in Boston, and landed a job at Howers Perrin. We've since merged with Watson Wyatt, now Howers Watson. So we've been there for about 12 years. A little bit about Towers Watson. I almost said Perrin. Still can't get that out of my head. We are a global human resources consulting firm. We have about 8,000 employees across the globe, most major cities around the world. And we help organizations set up their human resources function, HR technology, information systems, design total rewards programs, so compensation packages, healthcare benefits, retirement benefit programs, help them with change management when there's a major organizational structural change, help them with mergers and acquisitions, all the way down to we help them with graphic design for employee communications and actually developing those employee communications. My area of focus is in healthcare consulting, and mostly what we've been working on, and the reason our business is really booming right now is because of healthcare reform. I'm sure you've all heard a little bit about that in the press. And we're helping our clients understand what healthcare reform means, all the nuances, what it means for their employee population, and what it's going to mean from a financial perspective for them long term.